Hi, I'm Mao, and I want to share with you how I got into Ubisoft. I believe this story can give you more insights on how you can get into a AAA game company. Okay, I don't work there anymore, uh, but I wanted to share with you how I got there because I'm not from the US. I'm from Peru, Latin America. So it's a little bit hard to get this kind of gig. If you're in the US, it's easier because you already have the companies established there. So in my case, there wasn't any kind of industry available for me locally. Um, I started in 2012. In 2012, I start basically discovering the 3D world, right? And it got my attention, and I really like it. So to make the story short, I just keep working on it until I had some skills, right? Um, I was doing some small business with my friends, and then I decided I wanted to work for a big company, right? Um, I kind of knew how to go there as far as the information that I got from the internet was that I needed to basically enroll any kind of course or anything, or just put my portfolio there, and then suddenly someone will find you, right? It's just like it doesn't sound very promising, right? Like, hey, just put the thing there, and maybe someone will find you, right? Whereas if you go to a university, maybe you get some contacts there, maybe they have some, uh, you know, they are working together with the company so you can get some internships that they can discover you, because that's the hard part. They need to find you, right? So I just decide I will work in my portfolio for, I think it was like a year. At that time I was doing pretty much everything. I was modeling, I was sculpting, I was doing like environments, characters, whatever. Everything I did was like not really AAA quality. It was not there yet. And I want to touch this topic in a moment, but uh, I just didn't have the skill to join, right? So I did one thing. I joined some mentorships. I joined Ryan Beno mentorship, uh, an art, environment artist from Insomniac Games. Uh, when I joined, it was great because there was like 6 full weeks focusing on environments, and it was the first time I finally someone who's inside a game studio can show me how things are done there. And then I can also ask him like very silly questions that you might not think about it, but it's like, hey, how do you solve this thing? Like, this thing looks ugly. And one of the answers was like, well, you can either fix it, you can fix the UVs, for example, the texture is wrong, or you can basically uh, put something there and hide it, right? And this kind of answers coming from someone who has a lot of experience in the industry really opened my mind into how to create my own my own environment. So I create something. Uh, I create like a small environment. I didn't finish it, but it was it was it was progress. It was a nice progress, and it was the first time I was focusing only environments, right? Uh, at the same time, I was studying by my own, right? Keep in mind that this was in 2018. Okay, 2018. Uh, Basically, I went to Ubisoft in 2019, so it was the whole year of studying. Uh, I also got into ZGMA, DG Masters Academy. If you haven't, it's really nice. They have really nice programs. The thing about these programs is that they help you to specialize into a very particular field in the industry. Therefore, you can get a job. And that's what I did. I enrolled the um, organic world building by Anthony Vaccaro. I don't know if he still teaches there, but it was a great course. Anthony was a great teacher, and everything was very well structured. And it was a nice project because it was kind of like a little bit of an open world, like a big world, right? You don't really want to create a small environment. You wanted to create like a big world. Of course, you don't create something really big in the course because you don't have much time, but you kind of create something like a vertical slice, right? This is like my world here. I wanna put. So I create like a snow environment. At that time, ArtStation wasn't as crowded as today. No, it still had a lot of people, but it let's just say that the competition was not as hard as it is now. So you could stand out easier. Right now it's pretty hard. It's much harder. Um, but at that time, like the things I had in my art station, let's just say put like 10 likes, right? And then suddenly this piece was the opening thing for me. Um, because suddenly it gets like 100 likes, something like that, which of course makes the artwork go to feature in the feature section of ArtStation, so everyone can find it easily, right? Um, and I remember I had this thought about maybe I should just polish the environment, right? Maybe I should work a little bit more, 2 more weeks, or 3 more weeks, or just 1 more week, just to polish things. Um, I sometimes it's a good idea, but in my case, I just wanted to put something else, and the next one will be better, right? Um, and I put it there, and then I got email uh, from a former art director uh, from Ubisoft. At the time, he was a associate producer, and he tells me if I want to go to Ubisoft China, and I said yes. I was interested. Um, a, a really important point here is that just as I got this opportunity, I got many to do like freelance and any other types of jobs. Just by, as you say, my progression was like this, and then suddenly just one piece. You only need one piece that can show that you can do the job, and then goes like this, right? Suddenly, no opportunity, no job, nothing, and then you can go up, right? And at that time, uh, it was huge because for me, I didn't have a job at that time. I was only studying, so that was really a rough time, really hard time for me um, to try to study while just having some without having some basic income. So I answered yes, I was interested, and then I took three interviews. Right? I think it was like a fourth one. I will show you now how is the structure of an interview. It's pretty similar across all industries. Some of them have more, some of them have less. But in my case, the first one was with HR. Of course, they want to know if I'm interested, uh, if I'm willing to relocate. Right? I'm moving from another country. They want to know if I have a degree, because the degree is important to have the visa. Otherwise, you cannot get the visa. Even you can qualify for the job. You can like pretty much uh, do everything. If you don't have the visa, if you were to work abroad, it's a little harder. uh, because of politics and a lot of this stuff. But I did have. I'm a software engineer by trade. So uh, while I specialize in 3D, my background is in software engineer. So I had all. And basically, they ask you how much you earn. Like basically, HR wants to know how much money they can give you, right? Because they do have a budget for the kind of position you're rolling. Let's just put a number from $1,000 to $3,000, and they want to know if this guy can get $1,000, can get a job for $1,000. I will just offer you $1,000. If this guy is like maybe has more experience, maybe he's earning more, okay, maybe this guy will not take my $1,000 offer. Maybe I can offer him 2,000, right? This is how things work. Um, so don't be afraid of putting higher putting a higher salary. Like how much do you expect to win? It's like I expect to win this. The problem is if it's too high, they just reject you, right? It's like, hey, sorry, we don't have the budget for you. Uh, but anyway, they just ask you very simple questions. Like they just want to know if you're a good fit. Like let's just put the technical things aside and let's just see if you can actually travel. If you're willing to travel, if you're willing to take this amount of money. They don't really uh, they don't really mention too much the money thing in the first interview. Uh, but they just want to know if you're interested in the position. So as soon as you say you're interested, you get a second interview. Basically, before the interview, they will send you an art test. In my case, I just had to do an environment based on a concept they gave me. Um, I think it was from Assassin's Creed or something like that. And I wanted to create something very similar to what they wanted to create inside the position I was doing. I won't get into the details here, but I was creating something that I was gonna do at the job pretty often. So as soon as I took the test, it was okay. Back in the day, like my skills were not as high as they are now. I feel like I could have done a at that time it was very hard for me to do the test. It was 5 days and I worked pretty much the whole day to finish it. I barely sleep, so it was hard for me. Now it's pretty easy actually. If I see something like that, I can make it no problem. I know how to make this kind of thing. um, which means I didn't really had, I wasn't my technical ability was not that high, and this is what they felt, and they were right. Like I know some things, I know I have a lot of positive things, but let's just say the technical part not there yet, right? Especially the art side of things, because the art side I developed during the work. uh, so after I do the test, say, hey, now we want to know your ability model and texture something. Fine. And I model something. I choose one part of the environment to polish, and then I polish it as much as I can. And they seem they like it because after I send the email, I just got an answer from like 1 hour later, like they want to have another interview. Uh, which is a good sign because if you send something and they say, hey, it's okay, you just don't have the skill, then they don't call you, right? Um, so in the interview, they were asking me like how basically the technical interview is with your art lead, which you will work together. Um, my art lead was really nice. And she just kept asking questions like how I solve this, how I texture this, how I model. how usually I solve problems, this kind of thing, right? Very technical as far as 3D goes. And then you get a third interview uh, with I got an interview with the same person that contacted me by email. At that time was associate producer. So this kind of um, um, he he had he had more decision making power, right? Um, he had a lot of experience working in games, so he knew how things work in the company. So he asked me a lot of things about how I worked before, what kind of problems I had before, how I solved them, um, and then basically um, he wanted to know if I was a team player, which I believe he felt. And at that time, I felt I wasn't that special because it's like, hey, you're joining a video game company. I'm sure you do this because you love to create games and you want to create something great. Like you want to have like great teamwork and everything. Uh, which sadly is not the case for all the studios. You will see that some people it's just a job. They just pay me to do this, and that's it. Uh, but for me, where I work in games before, where everything was, um, it was a team effort, and I saw it as a sport. Like you have a team, and you need to practice, and you need to prove your abilities, and then you can create something better. Of course, there is competition because everyone is trying to create the next big thing. So you really need to have this mindset. Um, I still have this mindset until today. It's a very positive one. Uh, I have changed some things along the years, but basically that's what he liked. Um, so then I have the fourth interview when they told, "Hey, we want to give you an offer. Everyone is okay with it," and they give me a number, which I say here, and I'm okay with it. Uh, at that time, like anything, just take me, right? I don't have any game company in my country, so I just go. Um, so they gave me a chance, and after a lot of months, like uh, doing the paperwork to go to China, then I arrived to China, and then I just just start working there, which is another um, another story. So I will keep doing this kind of videos. I don't know if you like them. I do my all the technical stuff in UNF games. If you haven't seen the channel, um, it's a channel where we focus on tutorials. And we give we try to give the most high quality courses there on the internet for free, where you can learn how to create games. Um, but this is a personal channel, and so I want to share more about other things in life, not just game dev with to share more of my experience and some of the things you can actually take from me to apply to own uh, your own path, right? So if you want to continue watching videos like this, let me know in the comments. If you got any kind of personal issue or some doubts about your career or anything, I will happily help you out. I can do a video about it. So I guess I will just talk about how it was to work in Ubisoft.